Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hello, you are listening to the Dork Forest with Jackie Cation. I, coincidentally enough, am Jackie Cation. You know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com, if you enjoy a determiner. The Dork Forest is a podcast that's on all the platforms, your iTunes, and then I populated over to YouTube. It's on Stitcher and Pandora and Spotify, but wherever you listen to podcasts, hopefully it makes it available in 1,000 different ways. It is November, and I'll also use this for December. This month, I ask that you not donate to the Dork Forest. If you want to support the Dork Forest, you can. You can order from Amazon using the tiny link that just takes you to Amazon and you order like normal. You can buy merch on the store page on JackieCation.com. You can go to the Bandcamp DorkForest.com and buy extra episode and stories and stuff if you like to do that. You can come and see me do stand-up comedy, at which my tour is all over JackieCation.com. And in November and December, I'm actually on the road quite a bit, including Minneapolis and Madison, Wisconsin. So those are my... But don't donate. Don't use the PayPal button to donate. And if you're doing it monthly, know that your donation will be going to the LA Food Bank. Because what I ask is that you don't donate to the Dork Forest in November and December, and instead donate to your local food bank. Go to feedingamerica.com if you are in the United States, put in your zip code, and it'll tell you your local food bank. Or you can just Google the words food bank and the name of your town. That happens all over the world. You can do that anywhere in the world. But just for these 2 months, just help people around you. That's all I'm saying. Other than that, we should do the credits. Yes, Mike Rickberg composed and sang that song with Sarah Cohen, his wife, and he will sing his version of the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Patrick Brady fixes this audio, and Vilmos still fixing JackieCation.com, bless his heart. Anyway, let's get into the show. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. I am in my living room with a friend of mine. We have mutual friends, coffee shop friends. Martha Boles, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me, Jackie.
This is, okay, so everyone should know, it's MarthaBoles.com, MarthaBoles.
BOLES.
And it's ms.marthaboles on Instagram.
Yep.
So you just you buried the lead when you were talking dorkdoms, Martha, and you were just like, well, don't you know, for a living I do dueling pianos. I'm like, stop. Yeah. Oh my God. So you, first of all, let's get into it. Well, wait, everyone should know, if you were in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I have fans in Lincoln, Nebraska,
nice.
Go to Blazing Pianos and watch a Martha Boles duel.
Yeah.
Old-timey piano. Pew, pew. Old-timey dueling pianos. Okay. You play the piano.
I play the piano.
Have you always played the piano?
Pretty much. We had one growing up.
Okay.
In the living room, and I would bang things out. And I'm an Army brat. We moved around all the time.
Sure.
So I guess formal training, I got some lessons when we lived in Germany, started around 9, and then we moved to Texas for a bit, and then we moved to Belgium, and then to the Netherlands. So when we finally settled in the Netherlands, I went to a private music school from the ages of 12 to 14.
Okay. Then, so those private music school, that sounds like you're doing a good 2 to 5 hours a day.
Kinda, yeah.
Of all different kinds of instruments, or?
Just piano.
Okay.
And looking back, I probably would have listened to my teacher when he was trying to drill, let's look at classical. And I'm like, no, I want to do rhythm and blues.
Jam. I
want to jam.
Right.
I wanted to be amazing from the start.
Well, that's what maybe you never know if you're going to be a prodigal until you try. All of a sudden, you're the snowboarder that you didn't know you could be.
Exactly.
That's what I want to be.
Yeah. I love snowboarding too.
I've never, I tried to skateboard twice and I broke my wrist once. But wouldn't it have been amazing if I would have been an amazing skateboarder right from the get? It turns out it's a learned skill.
I know. I have such a hard time with that too. And now I respect process.
Oh, there you go.
I respect process, that there are things that I do on stage now that I'm like, wow, I wasn't able to do this when I was just starting. I respect how far I've come in this.
So now you fight. You fight. You duel. Pianos duel.
It's kind of a misnomer. It's we're partners. It's sing along.
Okay.
So we take people's requests and we make them sing along. It's a lot of
Certainly better put than just saying two pianos that face each other.
Right.
Right. Dueling pianos sounds more gravitas, more tension.
Yeah, it does. It does. People
So
get really
you
excited about it.
have essentially a piano partner, and you perform together.
Yeah. And I'll meet different people. I was in Boston last week playing a show at a club.
I'm in Boston this weekend.
Get out of town. Oh,
I know it.
man.
Weird. I know. And this is not going to go up till December 10th. I'm in Acme. Please come and see me in Minneapolis, and then Madison, Wisconsin the week after that, and Milwaukee, a one-nighter. It's actually by invite only. Email me, Jackie@JackieCation.com. Anyway, so
Ooh, I wanna go.
I got all kinds of too much info right there. Small plug for me, Jackie Cation. But Martha Boles, let us talk about, you were in Boston playing. How did you fall into dueling pianos?
Okay.
'Cause that feels like a thing. If you don't go out looking.
No, it was, wow. I was performing at a theme park in San Antonio, Texas,
Excellent.
called Fiesta, Texas. It was great. It was a live music entertainment park,
Right.
lots of rides. At the time, in the early 90s, I think it was owned by Opryland. That's when I first started working at Opryland and Gaylord Entertainment.
Okay.
So all those people from Nashville, and it was
A lot of music.
A lot of music.
Okay.
All the shows had live bands. Nothing was on track. It was amazing. And that is
amazing.
Yeah, 18. And this was my first professional job. I happened to fall into it. I always knew I wanted to act and perform.
Right.
And a friend of mine was there at the park and she said, you should audition. And I did, but I didn't hear from them. So I just assumed I didn't get it. I was just going to be working at Chuck E. Cheese's forever.
Were you working at a Chuck E. Cheese, were you? Mm-hmm. Did you eat the food?
I did. It was delicious. It was delicious.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Next time I find myself at a Chuck E.
Yes.
Cheese in the safest possible way, I don't know how that'll occur. But what should I order?
You should order the breadsticks.
Okay. Are they doing good work? Are they garlic breadsticks or something?
They're not. Well, back then they weren't.
Okay.
They put a lot of Parmesan cheese on them, and then
Oh,
they
they're
toasted them,
cheesy.
and it was just so delicious. And then I would
Cheesy
have them
breadsticks.
add more cheese, mozzarella.
Well, do you know why? Because you knew somebody.
Yeah.
You were on the inside.
I was on the inside. I was on the inside for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you're no longer working there. As much as you want to vouch for Chuck E. Cheese food, let's keep moving.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
So I was working at Chuck E. Cheese's. The auditions were in October, and I had heard that they just hired a cast in November, so I thought nothing of it. And then one day in February,
Oh wow, months later.
they called at the restaurant. And I remember my manager coming out to the salad bar. I was a cashier at this time. Now
Excellent.
I'd worked my way up to cashier.
Well, there's good 35 cents more an hour.
Oh, yeah. Well, for us back then, it was just a quarter.
Oh,
I was like,
quarter.
if I knew then what I know now, there would be a lot. Anyway.
Yeah, that's how they get 18-year-olds.
Right.
Because you don't know.
Just don't know.
Yep.
I'm like, labor laws. I shouldn't be working off the clock, but I'm a people
Interesting.
pleaser as well.
Right.
So I thought it was fine.
I clock in at public restaurants. When I go into the restroom, I'm like, oh, this isn't tidy. And then I pick up.
Yeah.
That's a win for them. And me, kind of, because I don't want to. Anyway, so I like to leave it a little cleaner than I came in.
You know what? Clean up the wreckage of your presence.
That's it. And even if I didn't cause the wreckage, I'm a bit of a meddler.
Yeah.
Anyway, so go ahead.
Where was I? So
The manager comes out.
The manager comes out, says you have a call, and I remember going into the office, and it was somebody saying, "This is so and so from Fiesta, Texas, and the season starts in a couple days. We need you to start." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
I get to play the piano for a living.
Yeah, well, I wasn't playing piano there.
Oh.
This is just the theme park where I was doing improv, and I was part of a crew called Streetmosphere. So I was a character.
Streetmosphere. Good for them.
Streetmosphere,
Good for
yeah. Started by Herb Hansen, who's an amazing coach and director. And
Oh, cool.
I fell in love with improv because of Herb.
Okay.
For sure. Great guy.
Yeah.
So I did that. And and I had to work Chuck E. Cheese and Fiesta, Texas for like 2 weeks together.
Right.
Because I had
to make sure.
Yeah. And then I was out. So here I'm this free 18-year-old. I got a huge raise.
Right. Something almost just. Well played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And making a lot of money back in San Antonio, Texas for an 18-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Just.
That means $350 a week.
Yeah.
Live it up. Live it up.
It was crazy. It was amazing. Yeah. I was a freshman in college.
Right.
So anyway,
Did you go to Texas College?
I went to University of Texas, San Antonio.
Oh, there you go.
Because to be honest, I was too afraid to move 1 hour north to go to UT to study theater there.
Okay.
And at the time, UTSA didn't have a theater program, so I just I bounced around with majors. At first, I thought I was going to be an accountant.
Sure.
I thought that was safe.
Right. You were always so smart. I was going to be a lawyer.
Yeah. I played around with that for a minute when I was 12.
A hot sec?
Just a hot sec. Because since I was 4, I said, I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be an actor. And my parents were like, I don't know. My mom was like, I don't know people at the hospital there. You know, my mother's from Honduras. So.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. I'm like, that's why she has an accent.
They don't want they don't want you to do that.
No, you can. I have a doctor I work with, and he does community theater, and you can do that. And I remember thinking as a kid, I'm like, I'm bigger than community theater.
And we are, and then we aren't. And that's the trajectory of everyone's career, kind of.
Absolutely. And there's some really good community theater, especially in San Antonio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of community? We've weeded off, but did you see some? Did you go to theater because you loved it so?
A bit, yeah. Well, and then after I worked at Fiesta, Texas, there were a bunch of theater people there.
Oh.
Excuse me. And so they would do shows around town, Magic Theaters, a children's theater, which is fantastic. I think it's still there. I got to look these places up on Facebook. And then San Pedro Playhouse, which would always have shows. And
I love San Antonio. San Antonio is lovely.
Oh, it really is.
There's a comedy club called the LOL. And I have no idea why their slogan is "Remember the LOLMO," but they're leaving money on the table.
Oh my God, that's hilarious!
Right.
Yeah,
it's but because you grew up there? That was your dad stationed or your parents?
Well, both my parents were stationed there at one time, and then we ended up back there. But by the time we ended up back there, my parents were separated, and my dad retired and moved back to California. My mom retired in San Antonio, so we had 2 tours in San Antonio. One when I was 10, and one when we moved back from the Netherlands when I was about 15. Wow. So by the time I was 15, I had spent more time out of the country than in. So it was a big culture shock.
Are you multilingual?
Yes, in that. Excuse me. My mom's first language is Spanish.
Sure.
And my grandmother has pretty much lived with us my entire life. In fact, my grandmother still lives with my mom in San Antonio.
Wait, she didn't go on tour. Did she come?
Grandma came with us, but when she got to the Netherlands, she had to move back to the States because there a lot of flowers there. She had asthma, allergies. She couldn't handle.
It was too beautiful.
It was too beautiful for Grandma. And she had to leave.
For her.
Yeah.
Good for her for knowing her own.
Yeah.
She's like, this is great. In other news, I'm heading home.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gone.
So Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
So you're pretty fluent in Spanish.
For the most part, I know more than I think I do.
Right.
But I get in my head about it. And so I heard it growing up. My mom didn't really speak it to us, but I heard it because my grandma and mom spoke it all the time. So when I got to classes in high school and in college, my teachers were shocked to hear my accent and go,
"Oh, it's pretty good."
Yeah. Like, what? So you don't know Spanish? I'm like, no. I just, you need to give me the words. Like, my goal is to, do a sitcom and on hiatus go back down to Honduras. I still have family there. My uncle and my cousins and my aunts are down there. And I just need 3 months in a country. I'm actually really good with language. Yeah. I lived in Russia for 3 months, and my Russian wasn't too bad. Even Russian people were like, your accent is very good. Of course, they'd say that in Russian.
Right. Exactly. But I like that the accent, when you were said it in English, was a little bit of a Russian accent here in Los Angeles.
Конечно. Это не проблема, потому что я могу говорить очень чуть-чуть по-русски.
And weirdly enough, drops a half an octave. Well played.
Yeah, right in the throat.
Why
there.
not?
Yeah.
We were just in France, and my accent is very good.
Cool.
Turns out my words, I don't have the vocabulary, but I have a friend of mine who is like, who was French, and she's like, "I will practice with you," and so I was trying to practice. She's like, "Don't be shy about it. You're doing it. Listen to me. My English is terrible, but you can understand me. I have, and she's doing it in a French accent, which turns out my English French accent, not good at all. But my French isn't bad. So it's, sort of a si j'étais un garçon, j'aurais un zizi. Which is...
Mais bien, no. That's Russian. Je parle un peu le français.
Très peu. Moi.
Yeah.
C'est
moi aussi.
And but when you were in the Netherlands,
yes,
they mostly speak English.
They
and you were on the base, right?
Yes.
So.
And there's so many countries over in Europe that are so close together that speak different languages. Everybody just goes, okay, we're using English for business, and then we all speak our thing, and everybody.
We don't need you to listen in anyway.
Yeah.
But what about music school in the Netherlands?
Oh, right.
Was that in?
Was
that in English?
That was in English.
Okay.
Although my teacher, for someone, it's funny. I was a judgmental 12-year-old, I guess, at the time, because I remember thinking his English isn't that great because everybody speaks English. You take it for granted.
Yeah.
And sadly, I remember when we moved there, I told my mom, I want to go to a school off base. I do not want to go. I want to learn Dutch.
Yeah.
I say very few things. I speak more German than Dutch.
Okay.
Ich heiße Martha, ich komme aus den Niederlanden. Was magst du gern? Habst du Geschwistern?
What does that mean?
Ich heiße Martha. My name is Martha. I come from the Netherlands.
Can you say we're going to be the good guys in World War III? Can you say that?
No.
I believe in the Germans. I think that this is going to be their decade.
It's
a shit show. We know. The world knows.
The world knows.
But so now you're at Fiesta where?
Okay, Fiesta. Yes.
You're eating off of Fiesta where?
Fiesta where during the Christmas show, they had different seasons at the park. So the Christmas show, I was in this 30 person cast for Home for the Holidays.
Okay.
And one of the guys who's an actor and an amazing musician, Jeff Smith, he actually lives in Nashville now. We would perform together in this show. I think he was in a different show at the park. But it was such a small park. All the actors and musicians would get together and go out at night. And so he's like, I just started playing piano at this bar downtown. Who wants to come? And so we would roll up in there in a cast of 30 on a Tuesday night and just get crazy. And I'd never seen anything like it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. We're all having fun and we're singing along together. And
that is super. That's my favorite. I'm a team singer.
Yeah.
I like to sing in a group.
Yeah, it wasn't karaoke or anything. It wasn't as intimidating as that. You could sit at your table and drink a bunch, which I did. And
and
it was
thoroughly fun. Like, and all the different kinds of songs, like throughout the ages.
Yeah,
like
we would cross. So back then it was the 90s. So it was a bunch of Spice Girls and Chumbawamba and
done
everything
like arranged for piano.
Yeah, you just play. You just play it, and it's great. I do a lot of rap. Like I do, Snoop Dogg and stuff. And
you got any KRS-One? Do you have any?
I don't do KRS-One. In fact, in all the years I've been doing Dueling Pianos, I don't think anybody's requested KRS-One.
That was my gateway drug into hip hop was in '89, and then every rapper that he mentioned, I would buy one of their albums.
Smart.
And then I weeded off and went back to Billy Joel, and then I came back in and I bought who knows what I bought, a White Stripes album.
Well,
anyway, whatever. I mean,
great.
I own one of every album.
Yeah.
So, but not. I don't know anything about any particular kind of music. I essentially have one album.
Nice.
Of whoever.
No, that's good. I think that's what musical tastes are. You just feel something out. I get obsessed with the band and then I leave and I'm obsessed and that's it.
Right. Yeah.
It's so different. And I wouldn't feel comfortable calling myself a musician if I said, oh, I don't like this genre. I don't like that genre. I like country is a good example.
Yeah.
And being from Texas, you hear a lot of country. We had square dancing lessons in elementary school.
So did I. Wisconsin.
And I really appreciate the older country,
there's
Dolly
good
Parton.
country.
There's great country. Oh my God, legend Dolly Parton. And
I've done 2
Johnny
episodes
Cash.
about Dolly Parton. I didn't know anything about Dolly Parton except for that she had large breasts and then she was in 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But now I listen to Dolly Parton on the regular because she's she's brutal. She's awesome. But get this, I was at a wedding in San Angelo, Texas.
Oh my gosh.
Which I'm told is, and when I say I was told, 6 times I was told in the course of this weekend that they're the largest city in the country that doesn't have an interstate attached to them. They have small highways attached to them. Anyway, but here's the scoop. The DJ for the wedding, I was like, I don't know a lot of music, but are you going to play that new Lizzo song? And he said, who's Lizzo? And I was like, what's happening? Wedding DJ, right? And
right.
And then he started playing, and I was like, oh, it's all country music, and it's all new country music. And I was like, that's a pity, because there's hit and miss with new country music.
Right. It doesn't.
There's probably 1 or 2 good songs, but
I feel sometimes it can be too popped out.
Yeah, it's often popped out, and then they're not celebrating the truck enough.
No.
I mean, I was just like, if you're going to pop it out, bring me some sad sack. I'm punching out. I'm going to the bar. I'm going to listen to a jukebox and drive my truck there, and then maybe dance with a lady.
Yeah.
This is these are tropes. These are things that need to be covered.
Yeah, the lady that you just can't keep. Either she goes away or you go away. You just say, wait here. I'm going to go off and find myself and come back. And whatever you're in, you leave that guy and come back to me.
Yeah,
that's healthy.
It feels smart,
right?
From all the different angles. So, but it's we still haven't gotten to Dueling Pianos. How did it happen?
Okay, so we would go to see Jeff perform, and it was so much fun.
Yep.
And every now and then I'd go up and I'd like guest sing.
Okay.
So I'd sing a song, and I wasn't playing then. I didn't play piano. I hadn't. In fact, I was 19, 20 at the time.
Okay.
Around 20. So when we were going to this club, and so
you were singing with them, but you weren't playing.
I wasn't playing. In fact, pretty much after we moved back from the Netherlands, I just stopped piano training. I just stopped. It's funny. I look back I read some of the music I used to play, and I'm like, man, I was good. I also played saxophone in band, and I stopped. My teacher even told me, he said, if you continue with saxophone, you are good enough to play professionally. Did I listen? No. I mean, I did own a saxophone for a bit, and I would play Careless Whisper and stuff on stage at the Dueling Piano Bar here and there. And then I went to grad school. My roommate's boyfriend, now husband, boyfriend at the time was a band teacher, and I decided, I'm here in grad school for acting. I no longer need this saxophone. You take it. Give it to one of your children.
Yes.
At the school.
It's a children's toy, please.
It's a children's toy. Enjoy this saxophone.
There's a guy who does saxophone with Kool and the Gang that I do a stand-up show, and he sometimes plays with the band.
Wow.
He's an amazing saxophone player, as you can imagine. And you're just like, oh, right. I love saxophone.
I practice saxophone all the time, more than anything else.
But it just became a child's toy to you, and you were like, I am an actor.
I'm an actor. Be gone.
The music, it is gone.
The music is gone. And now, I graduated, moved back to Los Angeles, and started playing at a piano bar again.
Right.
But, okay, back to when I started. Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Full circle.
You're right. So there was a season at Fiesta, Texas, where I decided I'm going to focus on other things. So I'm not going to renew my contract. And I decided to work at this particular piano bar, but I was a server. Again, I didn't have any plans or interests. And they'd have me be one of the singing servers. And
fun.
so I would go to rehearsals. And then one day at rehearsal, with all these guys, I just sat at the piano and started playing something. And the entertainment director, Sam Leatherwood, good old Sam.
That's a great name.
Oh, he's great. Yeah. He said, oh, you play? I'm like, oh, yeah. He's like,
hey, again, we've buried the lead.
I know.
He's like, did you not want to make more money, or do you want to schlep drinks for a long time?
Right. And I was the worst server in the world.
Right.
And it's not for lack of trying.
And that's a learned skill, too. But there are some people who are really good at it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I wasn't. I knew my last night serving was a clear sign that I should not ever serve drinks again. There were 4 people at the table. I brought back 2 drinks. Both of those drinks were wrong. I didn't know the difference between Chardonnay and Cabernet. I've since remedied that, but didn't know the difference. I remember getting up to the bartender, and I'm like, oh, she wants wine. He's like, okay, Chardonnay, Cabernet. I'm like, just pour something. Is she going to know? And he's like, oh, I was wrong, 50-50.
Turns out, she going to know?
She knew. She knew immediately.
Wow, she was like, this is white, and I wanted red.
I wanted red. The next drink was a margarita. Now, in San Antonio, when you order a margarita, it's just automatically frozen.
Okay. Blended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just so hot in San Antonio. Like everything's blended. We blend steaks. So I brought that back to the table. It was wrong. I got these looks, and then I just walked out to the patio, told another server, take over my tables. This is my last night.
I gotta not do this.
I'm gonna not do this. I'm gonna come back as a player, because Sam had said at that rehearsal, if you can do 30 songs, then we'll put you on happy hours. And I'm like, great. At the time,
that's 90 minutes of...
Yeah.
If you could come up with 30 songs.
30 songs. And they're the basics, Great Balls of Fire, Brown Eyed Girl, Piano Man. People would see me and go, oh, Aretha Franklin. So Aretha Franklin songs. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't even know how to play
Chapin?
And sing. Harry Chapin. Yeah.
Any Taxi? No.
No.
Okay.
Did he do Cats in the Cradle? That's it. Yeah. Now we get played
allow me to pick some super shitty songs from the 70s. On and on.
On and on.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you just came up with 30 songs, and then you started playing there.
Started playing there.
So how did it become a fight? How did it become a duel?
When
you moved here?
No. It's always been called Dueling Pianos, but it's really sing along. So we play what people want to hear, and we make them sing along. And
because you have to mesh. I mean, it's like being in a band.
You do have to mesh, yeah. And my ear's gotten really good. I can hear the key and just play along with my partner. And for the most part, people request the same songs a lot.
Yeah. It's like improv.
Yeah.
It's like a proctologist.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing. In other news, can you please mention some obscure nation in the Middle East? Anything. Mm-hmm. Just what is the most obscure songs? Like, what are the ones that you kind of like? That you have to learn in the moment, maybe? Or
sometimes there's songs I get surprised. I can now hear... 50s and 60s songs are kind of
the way
in that they're kind of easy to hear, and the new disposable pop, I'll call it that. It's not much changing, not many chord progressions.
Right.
Don't ask me to do any Chicago or Tower of Power and stuff. Those are like nice and meaty and chords or Rush or anything like that. Okay. Although some of the players do. Like, I work with amazing musicians.
And so, like, I can't even name a Rush song. And I just did an episode on heavy metal, which Rush may not be. But what's a Rush song?
I think Tom Sawyer.
Okay. Oh, wait. I think...
I'm doing a horrible job
vaguely.
Of it. I don't. Yeah.
Well, and so I don't know.
But you get that sometimes.
Yeah.
But now it's pretty simple with 1-4-5 stuff, dance stuff.
Is anyone hilarious and recommends like Chopin? Does anyone?
Not really. Sometimes we'll get, somebody do some Rachmaninoff, and I work with. There's a club down in San Diego that I play at from time to time, and those musicians are solid. And my girl Melissa Alcazar is virtuoso, kind of just
and so
do
has
all of
the
that.
Classical
has
training.
The classical training, to do that, pull that stuff out, as well as being able to do Lizzo and Adele and stuff. She's the total package. And my girl,
that's awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
I thought it was Adelaide for a year.
Adelaide?
Yeah, because guys and dolls. Anyway, so
awesome.
So Dueling Pianos.
Yeah.
Is there? You don't have to travel with a piano, obviously.
No, I don't.
Okay.
And until February of 2018, I was just playing at a bar. Most of my dueling or sing-along career, I've been lucky enough to just play at a club. I don't have to travel.
Right, because you're going to Nebraska.
Playing
for a weekend? Or?
For a weekend, December 13th and 14th. Blazing Pianos at Brewski's in Lincoln.
There you go. It's going to happen.
Brewskis in Lincoln. Come see us.
Come see. It's that is and so you show up. Is that? I mean, so are you doing more road stuff now with the pianos, or is this just sort of a one-off?
Yes and no. I mean, if people,
Because you were just in Boston.
I was just in Boston. I look at it this way: there's some gigs I could take, but I'm focusing more on my acting now. Finally,
Sure.
And
I looked at your IMDb. You were on
you did?
Leverage.
yeah,
And I thought that was cool. And I loved. And then you did 2 episodes of a show that I had heard of, but I couldn't. I can't remember the name of.
the kids are all right. Did
Yep.
2 episodes of that.
That's it.
2
So.
episodes of Better Off Ted,
nice.
which I thought was ahead of its time.
Oh yeah.
I loved that show.
Wow.
Loved it.
So yeah, you just and to focus on acting. I mean, like I do stand up, so I
Right.
don't. And people say, "Don't you want to act?" And I was like, "I'd be willing to act." And they're like, "Oh, we're done talking to you," because if you want to act, you act, right? I mean, all the
Right.
actors I've ever met they do community theater. They end up putting up stuff on, like sketch stuff. Or
Yeah,
they end
yeah.
up doing that kind of YouTube-y stuff. I sound like I'm 100, but with stand up, that's what I do.
And they do the googly gook to look up the YouTube stuff.
I show up at a hat store and do stand up comedy because I need to do stand up comedy.
Fun.
So but that's what it's like for real actors who are like, I need to act.
For me, I've like narrowed it down because my dream has always been, even before it was popular, to do TV.
Yeah.
Like sitcom stuff.
Oh,
Ever
right,
since
right.
I was a kid. I think I was watching stuff that I shouldn't have been watching, like Soap
Right.
and Benson.
Right.
I love the ensemble comedies and
Yeah.
just like
Ensembles, they are the best, I think.
The multicam's fantastic. And it's really technical. Comedy is clean and clear, concise. There's a rhythm to it.
Right. And if it's well done, it's more, it can be super interesting.
Yeah.
Because it can be hacky so easily. And we're just used to like the same 9, premises where people are locked in refrigerators.
Right.
Or freezers. Not refrigerators. Children die. Anyway, freezers is the trope I'm thinking of. If you throw away a fridge, well, tape it.
Right.
Okay.
Tape it
so
up. For sure.
But yeah, we're in like a golden age of television. Because of the different platforms.
There's so much out there now, and I did stand up for a minute there, and
Did you give it a shot?
I was doing quite a bit
Oh, good.
in 2007,
Okay.
8, 9. My thing is this: I respect it as an art form. So I really dislike it when people say, well, you should just do stand up. It'll be easy. No, it isn't.
Thank you.
It's not. It's a craft.
And it's an addiction.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pretty quick whether it's something that do you want to hang out with what can be douchebags for hours on end in an evening. Because at least with a theater experience, there's an ensemble. There's usually another person that you can make eye contact with and go, did that guy just fucking say that thing? And it's nice to have someone to make bug eyes at.
Yeah.
Because at a stand-up situation, I'm usually the only woman, or I was for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And so there was no one. I would just have to laugh off some of the dumbest, grossest things that have ever been said in a tiny room.
Yeah.
And and I mean, it's kind of cool now. Because there are more women, there's someone to
Tons
make
more.
there's someone to make eye contact with,
Right.
and go, and then one of you can go, Jesus Christ, we're trying to live our lives over here. If you would stop saying gross stuff,
Right.
and keep writing,
Keep writing. No, don't look at. I've been to open mics and they'll see me and they'll try to do the crowds. I'm like, well, dude, we're at an open mic. Don't try it. Take that somewhere else.
Right. Open mic. What'd you write? Did you write anything? Because open mic isn't time to practice crowd work.
Right.
It's
Which my crowd work was great because I have a ton of improv experience. So that's fine. And I'm toying with the idea of getting back into stand-up only because I've narrowed down my focus this year as far as what is my purpose to entertain people, to make people laugh.
Right.
And one of my strongest suits when in doing dueling pianos, because like I said, I only had those 2 years of formal training, like really intense piano training, which was enough for the kind of gig I do.
Right.
But what has saved me in this career is my ability to improv and to just be with the audience.
Are you riffing with the audience in between songs?
Oh, yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
I will admit that I've never seen dueling pianos. I've seen two pianos facing each other in an empty room. And I have been told that later there will be dueling pianos.
Right. That happens too. I play private gigs sometimes, and there's a stand-up here, and then there's the dueling pianos, and then there's the DJ at the end of the evening.
Yeah, maybe there's a juggler,
those huge corporate
some sort
things.
Of magician.
Yeah.
And we're all brought on the backs of elephants to perform for the 1%. And so why would they go out?
Right.
But the thing that I've never been mad about is actors who do stand up to be seen by casting people and by producers and stuff like that. I don't think it's a problem. I mean, usually they're only doing 5 or 10 minutes.
Right.
They're not taking all of the stage time.
No. Nobody's like, I don't think Ali Wong is in danger of losing any stage time to me or anything like that. And now I've kind of like loosened up around it. If I like to make people laugh, then I'm just going to go anywhere and do it. I'm going to allow what happens.
Right.
You know?
Across platforms. Yeah, across platforms.
Yeah, that's the way of the world today. You don't have to stick with just one.
Right. It'd be like saying, because I want to write a novel. Actually, I want to have written a novel. Anyway, but it would be like, well, you're a stand-up, you can't write a novel.
Right.
It'd be like that. That's insane. I mean, and there's not a writer in the world who would say you don't get to write because you're a stand-up.
Right.
You don't get to write fiction, and we should all get to to try the different art forms that we want to try and see if you like them. I mean, you think about the people who paint and who also are actors and comics and do these things. So. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and people are always like, I want to do stand-up. How do I get into it? And I'm like, well, open mic's not going to give you more than 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Come up with 3 premises, 3 ideas that you think are funny. Mm-hmm. Talk around them for those 3 minutes, and then get out of the way.
Yeah.
Because
allow.
Yeah.
And that's the theme word that's come up in the last week. Because I'm in this acting class that I love, and the teacher gave us all this book called The Inner Game of Tennis, the classic guide to the mental side of peak performance.
That was on your list, Selfhelp. I mean, we are 35 minutes in, but let me look at this Selfhelp book, because that was also The Inner Game of Tennis, the classic guide to the mental side of peak performance by W. Timothy Galway.
Yeah.
Forward by Pete Carroll. We don't know who either of those two people are.
Pete Carroll used to coach USC.
Okay.
And then he was a coach with the Seattle Seahawks, the NFL team.
Sports
people.
Okay. So is Timothy Galway a sports person?
Yeah, I think he's a tennis guy. But it's not just for tennis. It's kind of like what are those allegory kind of things?
Oh, there you go. Find the state of relaxed concentration that allows you to play at your best. Mm-hmm. Build skills. See, and this is interesting, because if you get nervous, people are always like, "Well, what should I do when I'm nervous?" And I always say, laugh at it, because there's nothing more ridiculous than the fact that you're about to get to do something that makes you nervous. You're like, "What are they letting you do?" Well, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought you were going to get to do that? Nope. This is ridiculous.
It's nervousness is fear that just doesn't have enough air to it. You got to breathe into it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's excitement. It's not, it's like, oh, this is cool. And it's learning to manage those things, which is great. Like I still get nervous after being at this dueling piano sing-along thing for over 20 years.
Right.
I still get nervous going up in front of crowds, which I kind of like. It means I still care about it.
Yep.
And a couple songs in, I'm great. I can talk to the audience, and it's just...
Right,
something shifts.
Something shifts. And is that true with the acting too? Like when you act on a sitcom, are you?
I don't get to do that as much as I'd like, but I'm in class and I love it.
Right. Have you ever thought about taking those voiceover classes?
Yeah,
Because
I've done that. I do
because then you get a
voiceover, too.
reel and then someone can send those out, and then maybe you'll get to be a squirrel or something. Yeah.
Working on that now. As I just had a session the other day. It's so funny. I am like finally just allowing all the stuff to happen because as long as I can, knock on wood, make a living entertaining people, I'm happy because
It's
I'm
a win.
horrible server. Again, still a horrible server, but I had the best customer service because everybody would say, she's just so nice. I'm like, I'm great. I'm great with people. I just can't remember your order.
I can't remember that you wanted that on the side.
I have the shortest attention span. I'm like, what would you like? And then by the time they say, I'd like, I'm drifting off somewhere. I notice what they're wearing, their shirt. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Oh, do I want a cute shirt like that? I don't know. Maybe I should go shopping.
Oh, interesting. You're getting a Sprite.
Yeah.
It's funny because I always think that I could always go back to answering like admin stuff. Like I can answer phones and troubleshoot. I can do office crap because office crap is fun. And and there's and I'm actually quite good at answering phones because I'm like, it's okay. Don't sweat it. It's going to be fine. Like I've done a lot of customer service as day jobs and stuff. And so if people call and they're upset, I'm just like, well, let's see what we can. Yeah. And if I can't do anything about it, I'm like, you are screwed, and I am completely supportive. And which is always interesting whenever I get in a situation where I'm talking to a customer service person, that when they don't just go, this is terrible. I was like, who told you can't just admit that it didn't work?
It just didn't work. It's okay.
Things sometimes don't work.
Yeah.
Anyway, so do you like this kind of self-help book?
Oh, absolutely. Anything that okay, I believe this. There's nothing new under the sun. It's all kind of repackaged, rebranded kind of things. But because of the nature of my brain and how quick I am to hold on to a concept, figure it out, really, live it, and then get bored with it, I need the new thing. I need it to be said in a different way, even though it's the same thing.
Which is what self-help books are. They're sort of stating the obvious in 1,000 different ways.
Yeah. Basically, this pretty much is saying this is what I'm getting from it. Actually, it's in the doing that things happen, and allow that to happen, and not the thinking of it, not trying to figure it out.
Right. So it's the action.
It's the action, which I'm a big fan of procrastinating. I'm really good at it.
Sure.
If there was a fan club that I might start, I would be the president.
There could be some sitting around. It was my friend Maria does an amazing joke about how this really cuts into my sitting around time. And so, I really want to get some shit done, but
oh yeah, I'm the queen of like, I need to clean my closet right now because there's actually something else that has to be done. I've had so much time to clean the closet.
Right.
I just, now it's the thing. It's just serpentining and finding other things. But
I will say that. So is there a like there's self-help books that I reread.
Yes.
Like The Artist's Way.
Oh, done that 3 times. I love it.
I get this. I've done it up to chapter 11. I've never finished it.
Whoa.
Dum. And then I've done it the other times I've tried to do it, I've only made it to like 3 or 4 weeks in.
Wow.
So, but I do love it.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And I love the sort of the workbooky part to it. It's I like a workbook. Do you like a workbook where there's tasks?
Yes, because I need structure. I have found that I need structure. I'm comfortable with structure. Both my parents were in the Army for over 20 years.
Right.
My mom was in for 20. My dad was in for 22. We could not watch TV without our beds being made.
Oh, there you go.
Like nobody could. You don't leave your room without this bed being made. So thank God that's the thing I have now. Like I don't leave,
which is nice.
Yeah.
Because the thing is then you're not living in squalor or. And if things are organized around you, right,
it just looks better.
It looks better, but I think it's a way to. I mean, I think I took an acting class, and one of the first things that one of the teachers was like, "Here's your task: make your bed every day. It will give you a sense of accomplishment.
Yes,
and it will not. You won't beat yourself up that you didn't do anything.
Right.
And so." Yeah, all this sort of picking up around you and just
decluttering. That
Yeah.
I have issues with paper clutter, so I just never really got a good system on how to organize.
Right.
Which I hired a professional organizer years ago.
Oh,
I
how
would
was that?
highly recommend that. Highly, it's again, I've learned it's a process. It's a process.
What is the process?
The process is learning to just let go of stuff you don't need.
Okay, just being reminded.
Reminded.
Because you have a professional organizer. That's a person coming over going through your stuff with you.
Yeah,
going, do
pretty
you
much.
need this stuff?
Do you need this stuff?
Sort of like a coach.
Yeah, and do you have a system of organization that's going to help you? Like it was revolutionary. My friend Michelle Powell does that, organizing and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, you just need some shelves." I'm like,
Okay.
oh, and shelves and organized and things are so neat now. And
Yep.
just a shelf to just put stuff together because then I just have all this stuff and then I get easily overwhelmed.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Then I'll go play piano. Like I'm the kind of person that I'm cleaning something and if a song pops into my head, I'll sit there for a second. I'm like, oh, here are the chord progressions. Okay, I think I hear it. And then I'll go to my piano and test myself to see if it's right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, do
Now,
that all
are
the
you
time.
writing music or are there songs in your head that you're just whatever's playing in K Martha?
In whatever is playing in K Martha, something from the radio. Sadly, I wish I wanted to write music. I do a really good live show.
Yeah.
Like I say that confidently after 20 years of doing this professionally. I'm like, I'm good in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And people ask all the time, like, when do you have a CD coming out? I'm like, I don't. I'm like, thank God this is a thing I can do.
Right.
To support my acting career.
Right.
Because I am a horrible server. I feel like God is like, you just are just so bad. You
What
poor
about
thing.
covers? Is there 35, 40 minutes worth of covers that you are proud of that you could put out as an album?
You know, I never thought of that. And
Because you know what that is? That is passive income, my friend.
huh.
Because you will get some. They'll get the publishing rights, and then you'll get the sound exchange money.
Interesting. I never knew about that.
Yeah, because
We'll have to chat.
Yeah, it's. I was raised very much. Well, how you gonna make any money on that?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm not making money. And all of my siblings were like, well, maybe you make some money. And because my sister was in development for a long time. She did
cool.
for nonprofits.
Wow.
And eventually she was like, you know what I would like to do? I would like to stop being the person who asks for money and the person who's on the board. So I'm going to go make a giant bag of money and become philanthropic and get on the board. And that's what she did. She
Nice.
stopped. She was like, and so now she gets to be on these different boards of things that she believes in.
Yeah.
And give them money. And then she can
amazing.
ask other relatively fabulously wealthy in comedy terms, she's fabulously wealthy.
Right.
So as in stand-up comic comparativeness. So yeah. And so here's the thing. So we are
Okay.
at 46 minutes.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
And time has flown.
Wow.
I kind of want to, there's part of me. I thought you were going to tell me that you love to watch Dueling Pianos.
Right.
But I like the idea that you might collect candles. I have a Rangers.
yeah.
I have a list in front of me of her dorkdoms. So, by the way, talking to Martha Boles, it's marthaboles.com, and it's ms.marthaboles on IG, on Instagram. So, talk to me about the candle business. Do you collect candles? Do you like a candle?
It's a new thing.
Oh.
I celebrated an anniversary of sorts in the summer.
Okay.
And a friend of mine gave me a candle.
Like
and
a birthday candle?
just a candle, just a big one of those big candles, like everybody
Oh, a roundy.
around
Yeah,
one of those.
smells like vanilla. Or
Right,
whatever.
right. This one was some sort of jasmine candle, and it was so good. And it turns out, and I didn't realize, a friend of ours actually made it. She has this.
What?
Yeah, she has this business where she makes the candles, and the money that she gets from the candles helps with. Okay, let me see if I can get this right. The training of the dogs that go into jails and help inmates
Aw.
I think the inmates train the dogs as well. Just it helps facilitate that.
Okay.
So her candles are unbelievable.
So
and
this is such an LA job, man.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is a
yeah.
job created out of whole cloth. She's
Yeah.
like, I like to make soap, so I'm gonna make candles.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna smell like stuff.
they're fantastic.
And then the money benefits some sort of rehabilitation inmate kind of thing.
I think so.
Does it benefit the dogs, or does and we know it benefits both of them, because dogs love people and people love dogs.
Yeah.
So-
It's for an organization called Positive Change. That's positive spelled
With a-
PAW. Do you love it? Do you love it?
I do kind of love it.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, Intersect candles.
Intersect? How do you spell that?
INTERSECT.
Intersect.
Yes, and it's a female-driven brand,
That's kind of fun.
and
And she makes candles,
She makes the
probably available
candles.
online.
online. and-
IntersectCandles.com or something, probably.
I think so.
But
If you Google Intersect candles, you'll come up with
People
and
will
it'll-
figure it out,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and they smell so good. So, and it's for a good cause, obviously.
Yeah.
Again, positive. Oh, she takes Apple Pay. Look at that. Dangerous.
my phone is like, will you set up Apple Pay? And I'm like, no, but I hate that tiny red number on my settings. I'm like, there's no option to say I don't need Apple Pay or I don't want Apple Pay.
Yeah. That's how
Because
they-
I've got all the other things. Mm-hmm. Does anyone want to Zelle me something?
Zelle.
Anyone, Venmo and PayPal, of course.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm like, why don't you let me say no?
Yeah.
Nope. I also don't want to listen to you too. But
No,
that is
are they still
also an
putting
option.
YouTube?
I can't
That
get
was
it off.
hilarious. People were.
I can't get it off my phone.
Oh my gosh.
But I have a 6S, so I bet you it's not on the 11.
No, I have an 8. I don't have any. I don't know.
Oh, you don't have it on the 8? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Yes. So candles. So,
Candles.
So
Yeah.
are you just getting them from her right now? Or
I had been, and then I go to the big old giant Whole Foods, and they have them on sale. Like I'm just getting really nice. It's part of like a self-care thing I'm doing. When I wake up in the morning, clear my head, I light a candle. It just smells so good. It makes me
you
feel
chill out with a
adult.
Yeah, it is a very adult. moment.
Yeah.
You're a grown-up lady.
I'm a grown-up lady with my jasmine and sandalwood candles. I'm like, ooh, this is nice.
Is that your favorite fragrance? The sandalwood? I do lavender oil.
Lavender's good too. I like lavender when I'm getting a massage, and candles not really. It's a strange thing.
My thing with lavender oil is I take bath. I only bathe. Me and the Japanese. So I put lavender oil in my bath.
Yeah.
And because I love lavender. It's supposed to make you feel calm.
Yeah.
And because I've been told that so much, it actually makes me feel calm. Who knows if it's the chicken or the egg?
Right,
But I'm on
right.
board.
Yeah.
And but I was given that tiny candle over there. I wonder if I've ever cracked it open.
Oh,
Interesting. So is jasmine your favorite?
pretty much jasmine. Anything sandalwood. What am I burning now? There was one that was kind of a teakwood tobacco combination that I found at Whole Foods. Teakwood tobacco. I didn't think it would smell good, and it's lovely.
Just getting caught up on your secondhand smoke?
Yeah.
I used it to hold another candle, so it has a little wax on it. But is this something? I don't know. What is that? What does it say?
Let's see. Oh, good. Soy. It's soy. Wonderful.
It's made out of soy.
Yeah, they burn really well. Oh, this is nice.
What does it smell like? What is it? Does it say a thing?
Do you know it?
It
I don't
doesn't.
see anything on there, but for me, it reminds me. It reminds me of a hair product I used to use. For those who can't see me, I'm a black woman. So
There will be a photo.
there will be a photo, right?
Prove it. It's so beautiful.
So it smells like some of the hair products I used to use. It's really nice and just like.
You may
I
have
don't
that
know.
if you would like that.
Oh.
Free candle. Oh, weird. It
Yeah.
does smell like a hair product.
Yeah.
My stepmother was a hairdresser. So this smells. Nobody should. Unless this is a positive memory, which it's not bad.
It's not bad. It wouldn't be a candle I would necessarily buy.
Right.
But
So you might. Oh wait. top berry, middle honeysuckle,
Ooh.
and basic Napoli. Napoli?
Oh.
See the tiny writing on the side?
Yeah.
I'm 100, so
Just barely. Me too. I need to get
The,
my prescription changed in my glasses.
I just got mine. And they fixed it. Napoli. Is that what's the smell
That
is?
could be it. Yeah.
All right.
It's a nice combination, though.
Well, take that with you. Blaze up on a
Jackie, you've
morning.
given me candy and coffee and candles.
You're going to get a
Ooh.
T-shirt and some gas money, so it's a beautiful experience.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
So I like this idea of just sort of treating yourself right in the morning.
yes.
And lighting a candle like a grown-up person and going, all right, I'm
Yeah.
going to take a moment. And plus, if you light a candle, like how long you don't burn the whole thing, right? Because they're big.
They're big. I get big ones.
And you get-
I
okay.
just I'm pretty much as soon as I wake up, I go light it. It's sitting on my piano or my keyboard in my room. And then I'll go back to bed and maybe meditate a bit, do some deep breathing.
Okay.
Do the morning pages from Artist's Way. Because
I play Marvel Puzzle Quest. I go get my phone. I play Marvel Puzzle Quest. This sounds like a better idea because you're trying to connect with like the universe and the world.
the universe,
and
the
God
world,
and-
get myself ready for the outside world. There's a lot of crazy stuff that I cannot control, and
Amen.
people trying to make sense out of nonsense that's
Yeah.
happening, and I just decide, this little corner of the world that I'm involved with myself, with my friends, my family, as long as I can make a positive influence there.
Right.
Or even, just honest. I get annoyed with some of the positive vibes only. Cause I think all vibes are just what they are.
Right.
And it's our thinking,
Yeah.
I mean, I fell in love earlier this year.
Okay.
And you would think,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Wow.
You would think the end of the story is like he and I are together. We're not. Right. No, but I still look at it like the
Right.
most amazing experience I've ever had. Like I love him to death.
You have reframed that beautifully.
Yeah.
Well played.
It was the first time ever that I was able to walk away from a situation after seeing that, they weren't available to really participate. And I'm like, I can still, as long as I step back, nobody's got to be the bad guy in this. I don't have to continue to like
Obsess.
obsess. Or are you going to like me? Are you going to like me? And like, no, I can. It was the first time ever that I didn't feel like I was hustling for someone's attention.
Yeah.
I could just sit in a room with this person and just be. And I felt like, oh my God, I'm a badass. I feel like a funny person. He was just a good mirror.
Right.
And it's kind of changed the tone going forward.
Right.
Of like,
that's it. I mean, the thing is if you can do it once, you can do it again and just sort of, because what I've been trying to do is just, and I've hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
But is try to do what you were talking about earlier, which is just try to affect the people in front of me.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the power to fix Bolivia. I don't have the problem to fix anything beyond the person in front of me sometimes.
Yeah.
And I can donate and I can I can be active, I can put things forward. But the biggest change that I can make in the world is to not be horrible.
Yeah.
For the person in front of me.
I'm not adding to this mess.
Right. And if I could somehow fix whatever's in front of me and stand up in a bad situation then against myself or against whatever's happening around me, I think that that's the real, and also try not to get too mad about it. Right. I mean, there's a line that that I do about how there's it's very different. The line between me putting away other people's carts at the grocery store and me chasing after you to make you put away your cart is a line that I wrestle with. And nobody needs meddler, Mrs. Kravitz over here, to freaking get in their face. But I mean, it's because I think that is of some use.
Right.
To and to know when it's to step in, and to say you should put
Right.
your card away.
Yeah.
Only if you're jamming your card into somebody's car. How about that?
Right, right.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
There's some justice in me interfering in someone else's actions, right? So
It's all boundaries.
Yeah.
It's all I'm learning, where do I end and where do other people begin, and just let it be.
That's a
and,
great
and know that I don't have to, there's nothing outside of me that I can fix or rearrange that boundary.
Yeah.
That's going to make me feel better. I got to rearrange the boundaries inside. And so, like, back to this person that I fell in love with this year. I didn't really tell him that I did that, but that's what. Anyway, if
Yeah.
he listens, he knows. And so, I'm not ashamed.
Congratulations, you are loved.
You are loved, but I'm not talking. We're not
And there's
dating
no
or anything
pressure.
like that. But it's like reframing it. Oh, I fell in love. It didn't have to. It doesn't have the Disney ending, but I have a better appreciation and love for myself. So going forward, when I'm dating somebody, like if I can feel fully present in my own body and not have to feel like I got to hustle to get this guy to like me, then it's a win.
Yeah.
Like I've won. It's crazy. It's a revolutionary. I'm like, never before have I felt this way. Because we're not, as women in this
Right.
country, taught to feel that way. You're like, what can you do to get him to like you? Here are the 10 tips. Why don't you take this quiz? Make sure, what is he thinking? I don't know. I barely know what I'm thinking. In fact, I
Right.
shouldn't trust what I'm thinking.
Right.
And if anybody can understand what I'm thinking, I won't trust them.
Right. Please do not tell me what I'm thinking. Yeah. Yes. And that is so, and the self-help stuff it works because it's not that my parents were bad.
No.
They did the best they could.
Absolutely.
And for some reason, the tools that I need to live were not part of the repertoire. We're not, and weirdly enough, they weren't given them either.
No.
So, and no one really is. I think that there's part of it. It's hard to teach your kid. I don't know how you could teach your child how to, because the thing that I'm learning right now is that I have to let go of my I have to watch my thinking.
Yeah.
And then that will watch my actions.
Right. Yeah.
Because before I act on anything, if I think before I act on anything, that will stop bad actions. Right. And so if I have a shitty thought, it will then turn into a crummy action.
Yeah.
So if I can catch it at the thinking stage and stop and sort of turn it, like let it go.
Right.
Just
meow, meow, meow.
But yeah, this was fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's congratulations on that, because
Thanks.
that's if we could teach it to an 8-year-old.
I think it's starting to happen. My sister's a yoga instructor in Canada, and my wonderful nephew,
Yes.
so sweet,
Nice young man.
When he gets upset, sometimes he'll go, "Mommy, I need a minute," and he'll take deep breaths, and because he sees her practicing.
That's yeah.
And managing the stuff. I think kids just have to see you actually doing it. We learn more from watching, which is
Right.
what that book is
Yeah.
that I was talking about is about. Like watching the guy. He's like, I stopped really giving instruction.
Yeah.
And I asked someone to just watch. Like imagine themselves hitting the ball over the net and what they wanted that certain swing to be.
Mm-hmm.
And once they did it for a bit and really settled it in, they just allowed their body to do it. Your body is amazing.
It's the think system, which is from the Music Man. I have referenced Guys and Dolls, and now the Music Man.
Stop it.
Remember the think system with Robert Preston was the Music Man, and he did not know how to read music. Full circle on the music thing. But he would come to a town and start a band. And he would sell everyone instruments and uniforms, and then he would run away with all the money without teaching them how to be in a band. And he was a scam, except for the fact that he would always say, I can't teach you how to play your instrument. It's the think system. You just have to think the song in G, and then you will know how to play the song in G. And I cannot touch your French horn. I was like, I don't even know how to hold it though, sir. And he's like, Well, you just hold it however you want to hold it. Think about it. And it was such a scam. And the piano
That's
teacher,
hilarious.
who was Mrs. Partridge, from the TV show Mrs. Partridge. Nope, the Partridge
Florence
Family. Florence
Henderson?
played.
No.
Yes, I think.
Was it her? No, though that was Brady Bunch.
That was Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
That's right. Whoever played Mrs. Partridge was the piano teacher.
Okay.
And she saw through his ruse. I don't know if you've seen the Music Man. I'm not going to relive it for us. It seems too much.
There's a song I know from it. For someone who's
76 trombones.
da da
that the
da
song?
dun 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 something like that. No.
And
Wells
Fargo.
Wells Fargo. Yeah,
is
that's the
coming.
one song I know from Music Man.
Oh my God, we're over an hour.
What?
I know. Martha Boles, this has been a delight. I would like to have you come back and talk to me about. Oh no, we almost covered everything except for skincare, but we got into it a little bit.
We did.
With the smell of that candle.
We did.
And we never talked about people's stories and how you do you read nonfiction? Are you reading autobiographies?
Oh no, I'm talking about the stories I make up when I'm people watching, or when I'm.
Welcome back to the show, Martha Boles. I'll have you back on. Yeah, because
Thank
that's
you.
freaking awesome. The fact that you're writing.
In my head, I'm like, what is the energy happening in between that? I have, over the
Little
years,
backstory.
seen things. I remember in undergrad, I remember hanging out with a guy at the lunchroom, and we were all friends, and he just offhandedly made a comment about a girl in class. He's like, yeah, this chick annoys me. But there was something I heard something in how he said it, and within 2 years, they were married. I'm like, oh, he likes this girl. But even though he was saying, I feel like it's a special gift, a woo-woo gift. People can say one thing, but I'm like, oh no, there's something underneath that. I can kind of see the thing behind the thing.
That is a gift.
Yeah.
Look at that. There's another thing. If Dueling Pianos doesn't work out, tarot cards.
You know, hey,
never
this is
know.
LA.
It is. Things are possible, you guys. And if it isn't
Anything.
possible, you can make shit up. And then all of a sudden, people are sending you money.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing, Martha Boles. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you, Jackie.
Everybody, it's marthaboles.com, ms.marthaboles on Instagram.
Yep.
Go see her in Lincoln, Nebraska on December 13th at Blazing Pianos.
Brewskis.
At Brewski's.
At Brewskis,
See
the Blazing Piano Show. Yeah.
The Blazing Piano Show. And anyone in LA who's listening, she would like to act in your sitcom. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
And Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat, my hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?